everybody. Let me get back here to make sure I got my chat pulled up. Hey, Emily. Hey,
We're
Mary.
live.
Hello, everybody. Ooh, it's getting hot here, I'll tell you. We'll wait for a few people to come in. Make sure y'all can hear me just fine. I'm streaming through Streamlabs. Pink, hello.
I can hear you.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Eric. Absolutely, Eric. El Paso and Dayton. Yep. My thoughts and prayers go out to the families of the victims. Absolutely. Now, I was expecting Ghost Mafia to be in here, but he had an emergency. And he had a lot of the content that I was going to use today. So we are just going to talk amongst ourselves. And families of the victims, yes, they still haven't released the names of the victims that passed away. So I'm waiting for those. They just did. Oh, you're in the Zoom? Oh, okay. Hang on a minute, Ghost. Let me pull you up again, buddy, because I got you shut off here on my Streamlabs. So hang on. There you are. Why aren't you, hang on just a minute, bud. I can't hear you either, so hang on just a minute.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Let me get you in here. Oh, that's because I have to put Zoom in here.
Ah.
Woo! Can I hear you now?
I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Thank you for coming in.
Well, I was going to join the call and let you know what was going on, but I don't want to say it on live air. So
okay. I'll leave that. You okay? Everybody okay?
Yeah, everybody's okay. Just some technical things that's come up. I got to get taken care of today. So, but I can come on for a few minutes or whatever. I got a lot of stuff to get done today, though.
Okay. Well, we won't be on too long, man.
But
we won't be on too long, sweetie. Hi, Will B, Clancy, Pink, Marie, everybody. Welcome, Ghost. I have not seen a list. Both shootings, names of victims released. Really, because I've looked and I did not find anything. Let me Google it real quick.
Yes, they have released names.
I haven't seen anything.
I know they've released some of the names of the victims, but I don't think they've released all of them yet. Now, of course, everybody knows that this started at like 10:36 the other morning. And, this person, he had traveled almost close to 600 miles to do this. He methodically planned this out and chose this specific location because it was on the border of Texas and Mexico. And according to his statement yesterday, he was trying to kill as many Mexicans as possible. That was his intent. How crazy is that?
Heart. Yeah, this broke my heart. Absolutely. I can link it if allowed. Okay, Pink, I'll just make you a mod long enough to do that. Hang on, honey. Okay, you should be able to do it now, Pink. And then we can look. I know that, I know what Ghost said. There was some, it just breaks my heart what has happened. Yes, Rick Stein, I agree. I know that we looked yesterday and there was some Mexican nationalities that are naturalists that were in there, and we did get the list of them. There was a young man that was going to do a mass shooting in a town close to me, but his grandmother found out, turned him in before he could do it. Thank God. Yes, laughing. Absolutely.
Well, here's the thing that a lot of people didn't know. Not only did we have a shooting in El Paso and Dayton in Ohio, all in the same night, but there was actually 2 mass shootings in Chicago that same night.
What?
Yes, there was at like 1:30 in the morning. There was one shooting near a playground outside the city of Chicago. that involved there was actually like 5 shooters shooting at each other. It was like a gang thing going down, and then
kidding.
just a mile and a half down the road, there was another shooting an hour later. This was all the same day. I'm wondering if there was like a full moon out that day or that night.
Honey, I think these are all the names in Dayton, right? That she put the link out for. Yeah, this is the Dayton list of Dayton. So we do have the list for that. Pete put the link in the chat for that. Yeah. Border City, for those who doesn't know. Yes, Clancy. We were just talking about that yesterday.
He specifically chose that location because it was on the border, and he knew that people would be coming up there, crossing the border to go shopping at that Walmart, and he picked a weekend day to do it. There was over 3,000 people on site when he did this that day.
Hi, lady. Everybody in chat, hello. They said the woman that shielded her 2-month-old baby and her husband shielded both of them. The parents were killed, but the baby's okay. Yep. I know. Isn't that sad? This just breaks my heart. Breaks my heart, folks. This young man came from I did a little bit of research. Came from a family out of Allen. His dad lives down there towards Houston. And the young man has a sister. And, I think what floored me more than anything is the father, all set up, Uber. Okay, there we go. Okay, there's the victim, she said, of the, right, that's the news that I just saw. These are some of the victims that was posted on Twitter. I think we've got 5 of them there. Mexican nationals amongst confirmed victims. Yeah. Oh, so sad. Angie English B, 86, was in the checkout line the time of the shooting and just hung up the phone call with her son. English B's granddaughter, Mia Peak, told the Times that she had 7 children and a son who died as an infant. She loved General Hospital. Now, I wonder if this is the same lady remember the woman crying on the news looking for her mom? Mm-hmm. Said she was 86. I wonder if that's her.
I did see a video where the one lady had ran into I guess there's a McDonald's inside the Walmart.
Right.
Her and her 87-year-old mother were hiding under a table during the shooting, and you can hear the gun going off.
Yes, I saw that too. Yeah, that's how scary. How scary. But look at what's coming and has been coming out of the White House. Need I say more? It's just a sad situation. My heart is broken by all. Yes, guys. Ghost, did you do any research on this Patrick at all?
And his Facebook page and everything was taken down during shooting, so there's not a lot to find. But according to Agenda Free TV, who was covering it the day that it happened, somebody had seen his Facebook page, and the day of the shooting, he had posted a picture of him holding the AK-47, saying, "Let's go to come with us to the Walmart," basically. Or what was the name of the mall? The Sierra Alta Vista Mall or something like that. And he had posted on his Facebook page. Now his about section on the Facebook page had stated that he was like a computer programmer, spent a lot of time inside on the computer, like 10 hours a day on the computer. He lived at home. He was kind of a recluse. And, that's kind of what his about section in his Facebook page was portraying him as. Now, that seems like out of character for somebody like that to go into a mall where there's 3,000 people and start shooting up the place and kill 9 people in the first 45 seconds that he was inside this place.
Well, there's this manifesto that's going around, which I have not been able to find. If anybody knows how to find that, please let me know. That I've been trying to find. And in that, he was stating that he stood behind the mass shootings over in, where was that, in Australia, or that happened here not too long
I haven't
ago?
seen the manifesto
There was
either.
a Church of Christ, that guy that walked into the synagogues and shot everybody here not too long ago, that he backed them up. Now this is an 18-year-old kid that hasn't even learned how to wipe his own ass yet.
Well, he was 21 years old.
Or,
he had
21.
21 a week before.
Yeah. And which makes you think, what has this kid been getting into on the computer?
Right.
And with these other groups. But from my understanding, according to the news, there was people, he started shooting the minute he hit those doors. There was people laying around, even right there.
He killed 2 people in the parking lot before he went in. Actually, one of the people in the parking lot actually had a gun holster on his leg. So he didn't even get the chance to fire back. He just got hit and taken down right there. And that was like one of my questions. You're talking about Texas. Okay. Texas is it's a constitutional carry state. It's an open carry state. I would have thought that there would have been more responsible gun owners carrying and, willing to take this guy out and save other people's lives, but it seems like that wasn't the case. Like the one guy that had a gun on him got taken out before he could even draw it. You know what I mean?
And you, Black Cat Lover, saying hello to you, Ghost.
Hello, Black Cat.
And here's my question, or you and I were discussing this on Hangouts last night, because you said the same thing. I mean, it's an open carry in Texas. Yes, that's true. But when somebody comes and you're not paying attention, you're putting away your groceries or you're shopping, who in their right mind, hello, Red Road Runner, who in their right mind is looking for a gunman to be walking around? I mean, the kid could have had it down to his side and just pulled up and started shooting. That would give them no time whatsoever to pull out their weapons and fight back.
Yeah.
Kelly said today, she said, we need to go to Walmart. I said, fuck that shit, man. I'm ordering online. We're going to pick up. I am not going to Walmart anymore. Now, this can happen anywhere you go, guys.
I'm not going to stop going to Walmart, but then again, I am a person that, conceal carry. I usually have a gun on me pretty much at all times, unless I'm going into a government facility or courthouse or something like that, in which case it's locked up in my car. But, it's one of those cases where, that you hear that first shot and all of a sudden you just heightened senses. You go on the defensive, you go on the alert, your hand goes down to your side automatically. And,
You're
for
right,
that
Reggie.
guy in the parking lot, not to have a chance, that had to have been like one of the first people that he singled out.
Hang on, Reggie, you are right. Hang on just a second. There you go, Reggie. I even took him off of there. You are absolutely right. Reggie says, I know people who know of that loser locally. He was reclusive in high school. He supports white supremacy ideas and wanted to make his mark. He's a piece of shit that shouldn't be named for the attention. Absolutely, and I just took his photo down and there you go. You're absolutely right, Reggie. So Trump, yes, it is because of Trump. Trump didn't start the hate, but he definitely had been fueling the fire with his hate and poison. Yeah, but
You
Then
know,
again,
it's easy to place the blame on somebody else, but when it comes right down to it, everybody makes their own decision. You know what I'm saying?
right,
It, you I can say I don't like chocolate,
right,
and Uber goes and bombs the Hershey factory, and because I'm a public figure, she says she believes in my ideals, and she went and bombed the Hershey factory because I hate chocolate. Oh, that's not my fault. That's my opinion. I don't like chocolate. Actually, for the record, I love chocolate, but I'm just saying, for instance.
right.
But everybody makes their own decisions. Everybody's responsible for their own actions. Just because Trump has a problem with Mexicans or whatever the case might be, doesn't mean that I'm going to go out and blow up a taco stand. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Then again, folks, this all comes back to knowing the difference between right and wrong, and hate is not going to solve anything. Hate is not going to solve anything, guys. The mass shootings are terrible. Terrible. What is this, 3 in 1 week? No, 5 in 1 week. You were just saying in Chicago
4 in one day.
in one day.
Yeah,
Plus,
four in
we had the shooting in Walmart, a different Walmart, last week also.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
I
my
believe that was
God.
like down in Virginia, someplace or something like that.
So, what do you all think that what do you guys believe would be the solution to this? It's a pretty big one, and it's getting out of hand.
I mean, now the Dayton one, that was, I don't think there was a political agenda. There was no manifesto. And ends up killing his sister, her
Yeah,
boyfriend, and a bunch of other people. And the cops took him down and killed him in the first 60 seconds
yeah. He killed his own sister.
because he couldn't get into a nightclub.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
And what's
that is somebody who never should have had a gun in the first place, first of all. And now I'm not saying that the gun laws are laxed in Ohio or anything like that, because I'm a responsible gun owner and I go through the proper channels to get my firearms, and I'm trained to use them.
right?
You're talking, this is a kid, 21 years old. You have to be 21 years old to buy a handgun in the state of Ohio. Okay. Now, what he's doing, carrying it around in his car, that is still concealed. And this is not a constitutional carry state. It's an open carry state. So, for that instance, obviously, I don't know what routes that he went to get that gun. He might have gotten it through unspeakable means. It might have actually been an illegal firearm. And that's the problem with like the gun laws. The responsible gun owners keep getting more and more restrictions put on them, but the bad people getting guns are going to get the guns
Oh
the way
yeah,
they get them, whether there's laws against it or not. You know what I mean?
exactly.
You're not, by putting stricter gun laws in place, you're not restricting the guns from the bad people, because they don't care about the laws. They're going to get them whether they steal them, whether they buy them off black market or back alley deals with drug dealers or whatever the case might be. They're still going to get their guns.
Yep.
The only thing they're doing is making it harder for responsible gun owners to own guns, to be able to protect themselves.
Blondie hugs, Margarita, hello, Nola, hello, Jan, everybody that I've missed, Reggie. Um, Reggie says free help for mental illness has got to be a part of the solution. The gun control reform, and we need a leader who will do the right thing for all Americans. Then we have Clancy that says mental health also, mental health evaluations. We have somebody said in here the big scare used to be Sam. Hang on just one moment, guys. Let me mute. Okay, I'm back. What, honey? Yeah, I'll be ready for lunch here pretty soon. You bet. Whenever you get a free minute. Thanks, honey. Okay, so let me see. We've got let me see. Stitching Girl, hello. Zach, hello. We had a shooting in Canada early this morning in Toronto. Oh my God. Margarita, big hugs. I don't know. I don't know what to do. What the solution really is. This has gotten way out of hand. They should have stopped it a long time ago, starting like at Columbine.
You know, and of course, you know, I do a conspiracy show, and it has been put out there a few times that some, not all, but some of the mass shooting things could actually been orchestrated by our government to push through anti-gun laws and things like that. And
Yeah,
you know, there are some red flags with this El Paso one. I mean, the political orientation behind the shooting, the manifesto, the fact that there even is a manifesto. You know, who writes manifestos that isn't associated with some anti-Semitic group? You know what I mean?
right, right.
You know, that it seems like that's like the government go to on these mass shootings. Oh, this guy had a manifesto. Come on. If he's really just a sick individual that just wants to go out and kill people, who writes a manifesto? Who takes that much time? And you know, it was so plotted and thought out and methodical, you know, to where the guy traveled 600 miles, chose this specific location because of the location and because of what day it was, and because he could get the most people packed into one spot at one time to do what he did, you
Right,
know. And
right.
there's definitely some red flags with this. Do I think the government's behind it? I'm not willing to go on record and say yes, but I think there's some questioning that needs to be done there. I think there's definitely, you know, people need to think about that. Do I think Dayton had anything with to do with anything like that? No, I think that was a spoiled kid that didn't get his way that wanted some payback.
Right.
Um, you know, the Chicago stuff, the stuff that went down in Chicago with some gangland stuff that went down, and you know how that goes.
Wilby
But
is so right. Listen to this, Ghost. She says, if people want to get a gun, they're going to get a gun. It's not guns that kill people, it's people. I could kill someone with a coffee cup. Can we ban coffee cups?
right,
Exactly.
I agree.
Thanks,
Yep.
Reggie, for stopping in, honey. Hello, Doll Factory. It's the president fought for uh, pushing. Let me see. My dad is retired now, but worked as a systems analyst, and a disgruntled fire worker came in and killed a bunch of coworkers. My dad happened to be in another office that day. Thank God, Nola. Cindy, God bless you, honey. How are you doing with this? To alter the gunman's state of mind from killing. My solution. Now I'm going to tell you, Journey to the Quiet with Cindy. Her dad was killed in Columbine. This woman has gone through severe PTSD, severe suffering since that day. She knows what these families are going through. And I cannot, uh, Cindy, I cannot imagine what you're going through with all of this, the memories and the hurt that's coming back. So Journey's Quiet with Cindy. Everybody go sub to her. Blondie hugs, baby. I I I missed you. I'm so sorry, Aunt Brenda. And I can't imagine what you're going through again with all this.
People here in the UK are not allowed to have guns. Only the police are allowed to have guns. Yet they had a shooting in Toronto.
They had a shooting in Toronto. What was
Bad
this morning?
bad people are going to get their hands on guns whether the law wants them to or not. To keep guns out of the responsible gun owners' hands is,
Oh,
you know,
Roscoe, how is that baby boy? Oh my goodness. He is adorable. I followed you through everything. I congratulations. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Which
you
just
know,
breaks my heart because you know people, I have a gun. I have a gun. And I keep it right where, thank you, honey. Oh, thank you. That looks delicious. Look, everybody. Lunch. Woo. Thank you
We
so
have an
much. I've got sausage, cucumbers, and olives.
Nice.
Delicious. Oh my gosh, 3 months already. That's crazy. We have the right to bear arms. We do. We have the right to bear arms. It's the people, and Wilby's right. It's the people that have those arms. I don't know what the solution is. I really don't. What do we do? Now, Texas is an open state. Do you put up a sensor
Well,
like
that's
they do at the hospitals?
that's kind of the other red flag about the whole government conspiracy end of things. Like, as soon as this happened, the first thing that the news outlets went to was, do you think that we should have stricter gun laws in the state of Texas and blah, blah. And they're like, oh, we're going to be pushing for a ban on, semi-automatic rifles and yada, yada, yada. And like, that was the first thing out of their mouth. What's that going to do?
Yeah.
That's not going to keep those guns out of somebody that wants to go in and shoot up a Walmart. They're
Right.
going to get the gun whether they want them to or not, Ghost Mafia is in Ohio. Ohio is an open carry state. Yes, I can openly carry my pistol on my side as long as it can be seen from 3 sides of your body. That's considered open carry. Now, when you conceal it, you have to have a permit, a concealed carry permit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, being an open carry state, that means you can walk down the street with a gun on your hip, loaded, and they can't say anything to you. But the minute you walk onto a school property, a government facility, a courthouse, all bets are off. You can't open carry in those areas.
Here's a little scenario. Let me throw this out there to y'all and to Ghost. I want to see what Ghost thinks about this. So, Rosie O'Kelly's sitting in a parking lot with Elbow. This man with a black cap shows up with a bandana around his face and a gun in his hand, walks up to the window, knocks on the window, and wants to know what she's doing. Scared the shit out of her. Come to find out, and this is in the middle of the parking lot, it is one of her viewers pulling a prank. He had the gun out.
I'm
How
sorry, if I'm sitting in the middle of
irresponsible
a
is
parking
that?
lot, if I'm sitting in the middle of a parking lot, do not pull a prank like that because you're liable to get one right in the face.
How irresponsible is that? After something that happened like this in El Paso and Dayton, do you think people need to worry about some prank? Some idiot pulling a prank like that? No.
And
He's gonna
unfortunately,
get
that's
shot.
what's going to make it hard on responsible gun owners. When somebody pulls a prank like that and it goes wrong, that's going to be real bad, and they're gonna use it. They're going to
Mhm.
use it to push through, anti-gun laws and things like that.
Yeah.
It started out to be a prank, but it wasn't a well thought out prank.
Hey, get her done, Granny. No common sense. I agree. After these people lost their lives, human beings, I don't care what nationality you are, who in their right mind, and I saw some stuff, oh God, some guy talking about nationalities. Made me sick. You're a human being. I don't give a shit if you're black, white, purple, green. You're a human being. You ruined so many lives. He ruined so many lives that day for the rest of their lives. Just not for a week or 2 weeks, but for the rest of their lives. And all around them, 3,000 people. And not only that, the community and the nation. Oh, I'm pissed. I'm just
All I
pissed
can
over this.
say is prayers go out for the people that lost their lives and the families that lost family members
Yeah.
in El Paso, Dayton, Chicago, Virginia, and over the last 2 weeks, it's getting a little ridiculous. I think a lot of the responsibility of these and they're kids. Most of them are kids, 21 years old. I think most of the blame should be put on the parents for not raising these kids right.
To some certain extent, I agree, but the kid was 21 years old.
Well, yeah, I mean the kid was 21 years old. Okay,
Hmm.
so he just legally became, you know, a responsible adult. Obviously, he wasn't as responsible as what he should have been, because he has no regard for human life.
Now, Optic
It doesn't
Blast said,
it doesn't matter if you're black, white, brown, yellow, green, purple, or polka dot. A life is a life. A human life isn't a life. Now think about that before you go doing something stupid. You want to live your life. I want to live my life. She wants to live her life.
mhm.
And, you know, for me to go out and take somebody's life with disregard and no remorse, that doesn't make any sense. Everybody just wants to live their lives, just wants to be left the hell alone, just wants to, take our family shopping into Walmart, buy some school clothes for the kids, you know, and somebody's going to come in there and just rob your family, your friends, of this person been in all these people's lives, and just take that away. Who the hell are you to make that choice? There's only one person ever to make that choice, and he's watching over from above.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Optic Blast says mental health needs to be front and center, but there are also so many common sense measures that can make a difference. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Here's my question with that comment. I have a question for you. How do we know? Let's take this kid, for instance. How do we know that he was mentally unstable? And why would we be blaming that uh, on mental disorder? What if he's just a mean person, which is what it seems to be?
And it's they used to say it takes a village to raise a child. And to a certain extent, that's true. You want your child to be um, social. You want them to meet people. You want them to create friendships. And when you have that kid that sits in your house, never goes outside, never plays with other kids, he's always stuck on the video game, and
Mm-hmm.
you're breeding the recluse into him by doing that. Make them get off that computer. Make them get off their phone. Make them go outside, ride a bike. And this was brought up to me the other day. Somebody had told a friend of mine that they had a great generation because they went out and they rode bikes and they played ball in the
Oh,
streets
yeah.
and things like that. And they said they didn't have that as a kid.
Mm-mm.
They had video games and they regretted spending all that time indoors and not being outside and not experiencing life. I mean, creating friendships as a kid. I mean, I had friendships as a kid that I still have to this day.
Mm-hmm.
I can call up my best friend from high school and be like, "Hey, Jason, what's going on, man? Hey, I'm going to be up in Michigan this weekend. You want to go hang out?"
Mm-hmm.
And how many people, how many of this younger generation can say that?
Yeah,
Be like, "Oh, I
absolutely.
can call up my friend I used to play Xbox with. He lives in California." Yeah, okay. It's not like you're going to go hang out with him. And if you did, it'd probably be the first time you ever meet him face to face.
Right,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Uh, Jan's life says, I think the president needs to wake up and protect our country and stop sending our men and children overseas. We need them home to protect our families. And then Optic says that is true. Sometimes it's simply hatred, and then the individual never gets past that. At the same time, I almost have to think that anyone who can do something like that is almost has to be mentally ill. Yep, yep.
Get her done. Granny says these video games are desensitizing a lot of kids. Well, it's not just the video games; it's television. I mean, look, I can remember the night that I was watching The Walking Dead, and Negan bashed two people's heads in with a barbed wire wrapped baseball bat. Now, I sat back and I thought, wow, AMC is really pushing the limits as to, what can be shown on TV. I mean, and to watch that, it really desensitized you. And it wasn't even so much the video games growing up. I can remember it. They made a big fuss over some of the video games having blood in them and things like that.
Oh,
but
yeah, cartoons too.
Back then, you could go to your local video store for $2 and rent Faces of Death, which showed actual like deaths and Saddam Hussein executing people, shooting them in the face, and I mean, you could see it on the videos. You could rent these videos. They had a whole selection of them. There was like 10 different Faces of Death movies that you could rent for $2 a pop, and kids would be able to rent these movies. So it's not just the video games. It's movies. It's on the news. It's
everywhere. Now, when my 5-year-old great nephew comes over and he wants to watch cartoons, we do not watch. And no. We do not watch any violent cartoons. No.
Look at Facebook. You had that one guy that would literally went live on Facebook, walked up to the guy on the street and blew his head off.
Yeah.
You had that guy and the girl in the car where she was playing around with guns going, say I'm crazy one more time. And the gun accidentally goes off and shoots him and they bolt. It was live on Facebook. I mean.
Society.
Is it Facebook's fault? You know what I mean? Is it Facebook's fault that these people are going live? Is it YouTube's fault when these people go live and do stuff like that on their channels?
Here's what I think. Ghost, tell me what you think. I'm going to say one word: entitlement.
Entitlement, and I get that a lot. These kids nowadays have a big sense of self-entitlement. They think that, when they hit those teenage years, everything that was their parents is theirs, no matter what. And
yes, exactly, Nola. Loss of daily human interaction.
Now we have almost a 1-year-old baby in the house. She's starting to talk. One of her first words is mine. I asked her, whose bottle is this? Mine. Whose is this? Mine. To start that early? I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
If you don't tell that child that the TV remote is not hers, she's never going to get it. She's going to always think that that's hers too. And the TV and the couch and the house, when you get old enough to go into a nursing home, that's going to be her house, whatever.
JK says 75% of the mass shooters have been on serotonin inhibitors. Look it up. Meds and video games in society is to blame, in my opinion. Yeah.
I think society is the one that's been desensitized. If we were to roll back 20 years, you wouldn't see half the shit that you see on the news.
Ew.
You wouldn't see half the shit that you see on regular television shows on TV, So
here's a question to y'all. What can we as individuals do to make a change?
And it comes back to most of these shooters being in their early 20s. It's the parents that got to get it off their asses and interact with their kids' lives. Don't let them just sit in front of the computer or the video game system. Make them get out, take them out, do things with them, Take them camping. Leave the phones at home, take them on a camping trip, let them explore nature for a little bit, get them out of the house, do something with them instead of just plugging them into the babysitter.
I agree. Stitching Girl said we can talk to your kids. Yes.
They're losing the value of life when they're playing these video games, and the video games are mostly about killing or zombies or whatever the case might be.
Well,
They're
I
losing
think
the value of life. They're losing that life experience, and they're losing touch with nature and social interaction. And their whole life is going to turn out to be that video game, whether they're playing it or not.
Cheryl, I haven't had time to go back yet, babe, and look at that stream, but I will, sweetie. I will. Personally, I think it goes back to showing a little bit of humanity, and you can be a what do I want to say? Not a spokesperson, but what am I trying to say, Ghost? You can be an example, set an example.
Yeah.
Hey, Sleepy Snow, my little doll, hugs. You can be an example to these to people, like being kind to people, saying hello, la 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 la. Let these younger kids see what you're doing. I mean, it's a start. I don't know what the answer is. You see 5 people at a table at a restaurant, all on their phones, sickening. JK, I believe that is the truth. I believe that is the truth. Bingo. Bingo. Hell, we didn't as kids. We were not allowed to do anything. I grew up, we weren't allowed to have the TV on. We didn't have cell phones back then. But no CBs, no TV. We were allowed to sit there at the kitchen table and talk like children do to their folks. And they talk to us.
No, I can remember talking on the phone with girls back when I was a teenager. You had a cord, you were stuck in the kitchen, the phone was on the wall. You couldn't hide away. You couldn't go hide in your room and talk to them and, be all dirty on the phone because you were talking in front of the family. You know what I mean? You didn't have the capability to hide away and get explicit on the phone and, all that stuff when talking to a girl. If you were real lucky, you might have had a phone line in your room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I never did.
I'm talking real lucky. Your parents had to trust you.
Oh shit, no, I could never do that. Mm-mm.
And what was the worst that happened back then? Somebody called and pranked you by ordering pizzas to your house.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah, somebody might have been out a couple bucks for that pizza, but nobody lost their life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Folks, I just don't know what the answer is. I really don't. Hey, Michaela, my little doll. Leon, you're such a sweet person. Only video games were from Atari. Yeah, I remember that. I really don't know what the answer is. My heart goes out to these families. Hey, Deb. A lot of parents are now too busy creating the perfect life on social media to deal with their kids. Amen, lady. Amen. And you know what? It's not going to stop. These shootings are not going to stop. We have to get into defense mode. I'm just sick.
I just don't think pushing anti-gun laws on responsible gun owners is the way to go about it. I think we need more responsible gun owners that are willing to stand up and do what needs to be done to keep others safe. Honestly.
Well, and I think it's important to realize the role of the gun in the act. There's a reason why serial killers usually don't use guns. Guns are much more impersonal and are much more glorified. Absolutely, Optic. I agree.
Well, I mean, if you think about in a gang related thing, that gun is a symbol of power to somebody in a gang. You have a gun, you have a sense of you have that power. You have the power to take somebody's life, which makes them think that they're a big shot, makes them think that they're bigger than they are.
Mm-hmm.
Put that gun down and take an ass whooping like a man.
That's right.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you're still alive.
See, what really bothers me is him targeting, this person targeting all of these folks in because of their race. That really bothers me. Bothers me tremendously. And the other kid, the kid in Dayton, entitled little bitch is what he was. Mad.
And just because you own a gun and you have that power to take somebody's life with a gun,
No.
mean that you have to choose to employ that technique or to use
Right.
power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do the responsible thing. You know, if they aren't shooting at you, don't shoot at them. Walk over there, punch them in the face if you have to.
Yep,
But
exactly. That's the way we used to handle it, huh, Ghost?
I've had my share. I had my fair share of ass whoopings.
Me too.
I've taken a few, and I've given more than my fair share.
Oh, I've had a couple good people I've knocked the shit out of a few times, but they had it coming first. They came after me. But Mrs. Stark said, I'm in Scotland. UK and guns are banned here. Anyone in the US can buy a bloody gun. It's terrible. Yep, I agree. But like Ghost was saying, the guns can be banned, but it's these assholes that are underground are going to be the ones to get the guns, whether they're illegal or not.
And that's the
It's
thing.
still
They
rolling
could
that
come
way.
in. They could come in, take away every gun I own. But if I really wanted to get in my hands on another gun after they take all my guns away, I could get it.
Yep.
I don't have to go through the due process to own a gun.
Mm-hmm.
I can just go out here on the street and buy one off of somebody I know for, $100.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, they can take my guns and they can take away my ability to go and buy a gun as a responsible gun owner. But if I wanted to turn to the dark side, I could buy a gun 5 minutes down the road if I wanted to for, a bag of weed, like
Exactly.
whatever.
Yeah.
The bad people are going to get their hands on guns. They're going to trade for a gun. They're going to, drugs or whatever. They're going to get their hands on the gun. Well, now the bad guys got the guns, but the good guys don't. There's the problem.
Yeah. Well, I just think families need to start partaking in a little bit more about what their kids are doing, what their family's doing, and get more involved in the family unity. And therefore, if that's done, then you know a lot about where your family's heading and each individual in your family, what they're thinking, and you're getting involved in their mental health at that time and point. So, you have anything else to say, Ghost, before I close this out, babe?
And I've said it before, the difference, and here's the thing, the difference between a constitutional carry and a concealed carry permit. Okay. Now, both you can conceal a gun, but with constitutional carry, that's more for your protection, not necessarily for taking action in a incident like what happened in El Paso. But with the concealed carry, you have training behind you, and it's kind of implied that if something like that were to go down, that you could take action, and having that permit will help out. It shows that you've had the proper training on how to use that gun and all that. Where constitutional carry is more like if somebody comes up to you in an alleyway and sticks a gun directly in your face. Where with the CCW, they could be just a guy in a Walmart shooting randomly, and you pull out a gun and take action against it. It's, you're kind of implied that because you have the means to do something, you probably should do something.
Right.
Where with the constitutional carry, it is not.
Right. I agree, honey. I agree. Hey, if my little angel is watching, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. I really apologize. Unfortunately, I have to run. Have a great day. You too, Optic. Bless your heart. Hugs to your other half. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to get off of here. I've been kind of sitting up for a while. I need to put my feet up because I got a big doctor's appointment tomorrow. And so I want to send my love out to everybody, especially to the families that have lost loved ones, the victims, the people in the hospital, everybody involved, the first responders, and God bless you all. I wish I knew what the answer was. I'm so sorry for all your losses and for everything you're going through. So with that, I want to say there always is a rainbow at the end of the storm. It doesn't seem like it now, but there is. And I love you all. And please take care. Bye-bye, everybody.
Be safe, guys.